Hey all, Hedgie Spikes here, and I've always been fascinated with the Thanksgiving Day Macy's Parade. I love seeing all those balloons pass by with all kinds of awesome characters like Pikachu, the Smurfs, Snoopy, Garfield, and much more. But I was really shocked when I found out that Sonic was in the Macy's Day Parade. So let's talk about that. Here's a fun fact. Did you know Sonic was the very first video game character to be in the Macy's Day Parade? This just shows how popular Sonic was back in the day. Alright, so to break it down, we only have two balloons to look at. The first one is this classic Sonic looking one that lasted from 1993 to 1997. And overall, I think it looks really well. The mouth throws me off a bit, but if you're looking at it from the side, it's fine looking. If you look at it straight from the face, that's when it looks a little weird. I like this balloon a lot. It shows how cool Sega really wanted Sonic to look, and I'm proud to say it looks really good. And the other balloon ran from 2011 to 2013, and is now showing off modern Sonic. Well, I like this one too. I can tell they were going for the modern Sonic design, but I kinda get the adventure vibe from it as well. But this balloon is also great. Both balloons are. Well, from 1993 to 1997, they used the same balloon, and I thought it'd be fun if we looked at all the years by themselves, so let's dive right into it.
Sonic spins and Sonic the Hedgehog when we return live on NBC.
Love them Yankees. Hallelujah. Due to the heavy winds, they were showing you some of our balloons on videotape. We just wanted you to know that. It is a really windy day, and it could be a bit of a problem, so there.
Willard spin jumping all the way. Along comes Sonic the Hedgehog. Every kid knows this video game superstar with his bodacious blue spikes and red-hot sneakers. Furnished by Sega of America, the Hedgemeister's debut in the parade is already bigger than a sonic boom.
Hey, I must say, Katie, that Sonic the Hedgehog is looking as sharp as his 3 rows of spiky quills. I just wonder who gets to scratch his back.
Not me, Willard, but thanks for joining us, Sonic.
Would you scratch my back?
Not on your life.
All right, would you scratch the director's back? Fantastic.
Ronald McDonald fills the sky with Santa's sleigh just a few clouds away. Next on NBC.
So 1993 was the very first time Sonic was flown in the parade. And I can only imagine how exciting this must have been to see Sonic, since Sonic was the hot new icon of video games, so I'm sure kids ate this shit up pretty hard, and I would have too if I was around back then. Fortunately, the winds were pretty strong that day, and the balloon ended up hitting a lamppost and deflating.
Annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade today. Winds gusting up to 20 miles an hour battered some of the parade's giant balloons. Poor Rex the dinosaur was blown into a light pole and he popped open. And later a gust of wind blew Sonic the Hedgehog into another light pole. That guy sprung a leak and fell to the street, knocked over a lamppost. A child and a police officer were hit, slightly injured, but they're okay tonight.
I'm sure it's not what Sega had in mind. In fact, I'm pretty sure of it, but it didn't stop them from using it next year.
City, the National Broadcasting Company presents its annual telecast of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. With your hosts, from the Today Show, America's favorites, Katie Couric and Willard Scott, featuring the best.
At the conclusion of today's parade, the balloons will be deflated and stored in the Macy's warehouse. But in the early years, when the parade was over, the balloons were actually released into the sky where they exploded. So much for recycling.
Take a look, folks. Here's Sonic the Hedgehog. I just saw him on the 72nd Street, 77th and 72nd. Sponsored by Sega of America. Flies above us right now at 64 feet tall and 26 feet wide. Check out my friend.
Ooh, baby, baby. He's a super hog with massive size, 21 feet.
You know something? I bet he could flatten a cement mixer with one dainty little step.
Hey, Willard, don't tempt him.
You know, kids love old Sonic because he's the hippest and coolest thing around. He's very determined. Look at his nose.
I like him. He's got a cute do, sort of a punk-looking hedgehog, isn't he? But then again, I guess
I think
hedgehogs are punk.
There's a shot. I think he likes it. Mikey likes it. Isn't that great?
He ran into some trouble last year because the winds were so high, but we're glad to see he's doing well this year. Willard, the lady in the harbor joins two of our favorite Americans. We're very proud to welcome to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
So now in 1994, the really cool thing about this year is that Sonic was actually the lead balloon this time. That's pretty exciting for Sega and for any Sonic fan to see. Also, this year Sonic flew pretty successfully throughout the parade, so I'm sure Sega was pretty relieved by it. This year marked a pretty good year for the balloon, so much so it would be seen again, and I'll talk about that in a bit, but on to the next year.
Parade footage from the past, and World Heavyweight Champion Riddick Bowe enters the ring of Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade when we return.
Thanksgiving Day Parade. Some major stars like Shirley Temple. And we've had people like Glenn Close and Willie Mays, Ginger Rogers, Tony Bennett, Diana Ross, Garth Brooks, Boys to Men, Placido Domingo, and Vanessa Williams. But of course, the big stars were the balloons. And Macy's itself was a star back in 1947 in the movie Miracle on 34th Street. In fact, a Macy's parade planning session was part of the film. But as far as the celebrities of the air, the big balloons that come along, here's a little secret we're going to share with you. You can't tell anybody, though. Each balloon is made in different sections and sealed separately. In fact, very much like myself. That way, if an arm or a leg snags on somebody's penthouse, the balloon can carry on. And, of course, talk about carrying on. The parade's almost at Herald Square. I'm going to hop a subway. I will see you guys, Katie and Willard, in just a little bit. A little later on toward the end of the parade. You guys have a fabulous time. And, of course, stay nice and warm.
Keep your eyes on the screen. From New York's Radio City Music Hall, the Radio City Rockettes perform at Herald Square next, here on NBC.
Thank you, John. Only the best. That's what you are. And here comes the Pico Bus Brigade. I know this computer mammal, Sonic the Hedgehog. He can turn a few video heads, let me tell you. Sonic, furnished by Sega of America, is a very cool teenager with a spiky quill up and down his back.
Is that the new in thing, Willard? Spiky quills?
Remember Spiky Quills? One of the Our Gang group. Maybe I'll try a couple of quills instead of hair next year.
It might work for you, Willard, but you better be able to move fast just like Sonic. He's named Sonic because his character can move faster than the speed of sound.
Hey, we asked the balloon captain, Elliot Tobias, just how big Sonic is. It would take 1,600 computer screens to fill his hedgehog frame.
Yowza, Sonic the Hedgehog balloon is second only to Garfield in how much helium he inhales.
And remember we said this is the anniversary of the discovery of helium 100 years ago. Macy's is the second largest consumer of helium in the U.S. Who's the largest, Katie?
Let's see, Willard. Uncle Sam?
You son of a gun. Right on the money.
Frazier's, Kelsey Grammer, and more spectacular parade when Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade continues.
Now in 1995, unfortunately, it's a little disappointing that Sonic was not the opening balloon this year, but he was still in it again. Sadly, he hit a lamppost right in the beginning of his flight, so they had to use some of the 1994 footage for the TV broadcast. But one of the most interesting things about this flight is that either carrying Sonic or riding around on the side somewhere, I'm not sure, but it's the Sego Pico bus. Now, what is that? Well, I'm not sure exactly. I didn't really look that much into it. Maybe a video for another time, but I don't know. It was pretty dope to mention.
I'll tell you, if I could get some of that energy, they might renew my contract. Yeah, if I had to guess, I would think you were a cheerleader in school.
What makes you say that, Willard?
I don't know where I am. I think I lost my place. Anyway, that's terrific, Katie. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I'll tell you, things are happening all over town.
And in any case, you know what, Willard? Everyone knows you can't have the big game without a pep rally, and stirring things up for 10 more UCA cheerleaders taking the rah-rah ride on the pep rally float. And this year's special parade is definitely something to cheer about.
Let's pick up that crowd.
He's faster than the speed of sound. That's why they call him Sonic 3D Blast. Deal with it, he is the coolest. But when it comes to video game characters, dude, he's the hottest. Sonic is provided by Sega of America Incorporated, dude.
Hey, dude. Hey, Katie, let me tell you something. He is one happening hedgehog. Dig the rows of spiky quills down his back, all moosed up for today's parade, would you say?
As if, I'd say he's dropping some serious tune.
Dude! Oh, that's your line. You lost me, Katie. I don't even know where we are.
To say our totally tall hedgehog's high on helium would be an understatement. To bring his 64 by 26-foot frame to life, Sonic is fed nearly 19,000 cubic feet of helium, more than any other balloon in this parade.
Now, in 1996, there's not really much to talk about at this point. It's pretty much the same stuff over again. Only the notable thing about this one is that the balloon, well, I'm glad to say, is that it flew successfully once more. But the real notable thing in this video is the woman who is talking about Sonic. She is really hyping him up and just how cool he is, and accidentally calls him Sonic 3D Blast. I'm sure that the game was coming out around this time, and it's kind of funny that they got that wrong. 97 is where it kind of goes downhill. You might have noticed that I didn't have any footage for 97. Well, that's because the balloon wasn't flown that year. The wind was really kicking in itself into gear, and they figured it'd be best not to have the Sonic balloon in the parade. Well, in person anyway. They reused the footage from 94's flight and revoiced it, so it was still neat that he was a part of it, and this is what I was talking about. They mostly just reused 1994's footage for good footage, because that's the footage that he really had the best flight in. And in 98, Sonic wasn't in the parade anymore, and that would be the last time we would ever see the Sonic balloon in the parade. Well, until 14 years later when he had a complete redesign for the balloon and he showed back up again in 2011.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we present the 85th Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. This is what the children who woke up early this morning have been waiting to see, Matt.
After a year of planning, after months of rehearsing, after taking, 2,300 footsteps through the streets of Manhattan, the first of our 10,000 marchers have finally reached their goal right here on Macy's Parade Star. Escorting the procession is the NYPD motorcycle unit, signaling the marchers' completion of the 2.8-mile course.
And arriving first, as we just saw her, the head of the parade is the head of the parade. She is Macy's executive producer, Amy Kuehl. And along with Amy enjoying this once-in-a-lifetime experience are Tuesday's children, the kids of 9/11, man.
Bright banners, clowns galore, stilt walkers, music, confetti. Yes, this is the big parade feast with all the trimmings. But nobody, and I mean nobody, puts on a parade with the big balloons like Macy's.
And don't blink or you'll miss Sonic the Hedgehog, the newly designed balloon version of Sega's speedy and wildly popular video game toy and TV character with the ability to run at supersonic speed. Sonic is streaking across the sky, announcing his 20th anniversary of Sega's release of a new video game called Sonic Generations.
Take a good look. This 350-pound inflatable boasts two 22-foot-long sneakers, which rockets Sonic down 34th Street toward his next adventure. talent.
2011, Sonic was back and with a whole brand new design, and it was pretty cool to see Sonic return to the Macy's Day Parade. After all, it was Sonic's 20th anniversary and he was right back in the parade, and the cool thing was, he was the lead of the parade again, which is a huge honor again for Sega. This was the first parade I saw with Sonic in it, and I was pretty stoked. I brought my dad and my brother in to see the balloon because I was pretty excited about it, and top it off, he flew pretty successfully, so it was a good year for the Sonic balloon. Now, 2012 and 2013 aren't really big years for the Sonic balloon. In 2012, he flew fine and wasn't the lead for the parade, but he was still in it, and that's still pretty cool. In 2013, he returned again, but this time he hit a lamppost. He didn't pop and then kept going, but yeah. I'm assuming after the lamppost, Sonic wouldn't return, and shortly after that, I was right. Sonic was never seen again after that. Well, in the parade anyway. I keep hoping to see him return one day, but sadly he hasn't. These balloons are awesome, and it's a shame that Sonic has been retired from the parade. But in 2014, they did this dance medley thing. It doesn't really count as the balloon, so I'm not really going to talk about it and add it in here, but it is cool to know. Who knows, man? Maybe for his 30th anniversary, he'll come back, just like he did for his 20th. Maybe we should, get a petition going for a Hedgie Spikes balloon going on. I think it'd be pretty good. Please, I need this!